edition, Broncos playoff wildcard edition of Tell Me Why I'm Wrong, and there's been some really, really good ones, and we'll get to some more of those here for both, either for Stink or for Stoke. You can bring those in, and I continue to catch a lot of flack for appearing on Bo Nix's Instagram pump-up video in which I was grossly taken out of context. That it came across as me being critical of Bo when all I was doing was quoting Jeff Saturday.
Yeah.
And I would really humbly request to Bo's team. I understand maybe it was an honest mistake, but I would, because I'm catching a lot of heat about this.
Yeah.
Unfairly.
Right.
And I would request if they could maybe go back in, do a quick edit or two. You can go find the Jeff Saturday comment.
No, once it's
rather
done,
than
it's
me
done.
quoting Jeff Saturday, maybe kind of re-edit it and then put it back out.
You can't do that.
No, I have to wear it.
Yeah,
I gotta wear it.
It's just unlucky.
Yeah, unlucky.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what they say, I mean, what's the saying, Mike? No, about publicity. Bad publicity is better than no publicity, or there is no bad publicity. I mean, this is good for your brand.
Is it?
For your influencer brand, for your social media presence.
Is it?
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, I already have my own people here who have maliciously gone in and edited my comments to make it sound like I'm not a believer. There's one.
Yeah.
You got the other one? I hate Mike Shanahan. Right. Stuff that I never said.
I've heard
stuff that I've never said, and now you got to add this to it.
I've heard you say those things. Those were real words out of your mouth, Mike. So you can't backtrack on those. You just can't. Now this one is a little bit, but it's still, I think it's good for your brand.
Okay,
I do.
My brand.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. What do you think I am, Russell Wilson, looking to build my brand?
I do.
Oh, you think so?
I do. You're under the radar. You're under the radar, Russell.
Some reaction, by the way, to Zach's attempt to humanize himself. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Stoke, you have me in tears right now. Homeless. Zach's wife is the Broncos. Mom is the Bills, and the Chiefs are his daddy.
Wow.
Let's see. Except Zach said he's going home with his wife after the fight. So that means when it's all said and done, he's still going to be loyal to the Broncos?
Yeah, that's kind of how he's portraying it. So again, it's a good spin job. Right now, he's going for the Bills, but I can't really follow that. I can't really follow. He did a lot, said a lot. It was well done, well played out by him, and because there was no doubt he was going for the Bills.
Texter says, I wonder what Zach's wife would think of him rooting for his mom to win a fight against her.
Very true.
Good point. Zach needs to recuse himself from work this week. He's officially the enemy. Wow.
That's good.
He needs to recuse himself. I like that.
Wow.
Let's see what else we got out there. This is from Cole in Palm Bay, Florida. I like Zach, but choosing Bills fandom over Broncos this weekend is a crime. Zach should have a punishment if the Broncos pull off the upset.
I agree.
I like that.
I'm thinking maybe a teardrop tattoo under the eye. Maybe a lower back tattoo.
Well,
of like of the Bronco, the horsey. One of those on the lower back.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, as somebody who has a tattoo as a result of something like that, for one, it doesn't necessarily have to be visible to all. It can be hidden. So
so the lower back is good.
The lower back is fine. You'd be amazed what people wanted to do with my body when it became apparent I was going to have to get the tattoo. The suggestions, oh yeah, a lot of tramp stamps.
Yeah,
a lot of tramp stamps. My favorite one was the one where somebody said across my entire back it should be Tim Tebow on a white steed racing across crushed skulls, wearing the logos of all the teams the Broncos had beaten. I'm like, hey, high marks for creativity. Ain't happening.
Not happening.
Ain't happening. So yeah.
I think there should be a punishment.
I do agree with that.
Yeah, if the Broncos pull it off, no doubt. What should the punishment be? Seriously, what should happen to Zach? What should he owe us? What happens to him if the Broncos do win?
Owes us or owes? I think he owes Broncos country.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, or just in general, like us as in.
There has to be
that's
some.
What Broncos fans. What is he?
There has to be a penance.
Yes, I agree with you. What is that?
Let's get the upset first, and then it'll be fun. Then we can really open up the gates of hell.
Okay.
Do you have one in mind though?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Besides a teardrop under the eye, that would have been a good one.
I love how many people out there just love the idea of giving other people tattoos and their ideas for them.
Yeah.
Okay. No. Seriously? This is an upset.
Oh no.
This is an upset.
No way.
This is like Rich Eisen.
For Bo Nix to go into Buffalo, New York, and one and done these Bills would be the most shocking result of Super Wildcard Weekend.
The most shocking result of today is that Stink beat Joel Clatt on.
Wow.
This morning. Good morning, Stink.
What an upset.
Well, good morning. Well, you guys didn't think I'd make it? What
We
happened?
just thought you'd be,
No, we knew you'd make it just after Joel.
We're a little surprised that
You beat Joel.
you beat Joel.
Well, it just depends. Some days the coffee pots are ready to go, and I get my coffee quickly, and then some days, Ty lets me on. So some days he's a stickler. If what did we have, the live stream, and it's
Throwing
not
Ty under the
upright,
bus.
or it's not. Oh no, I'm not throwing Ty under the bus.
Yeah.
Ty is under strict rules to to not let me on unless I'm connected to all the little video devices we've got.
Oh.
Well, we're glad to have you. We'll have Joel join us here in just a second, but we're doing a special Tell Me Why I'm Wrong Broncos
Nice.
playoff edition, and it has been a very good first 2 hours for Stoke, who's quickly learning this game. But even he admits, he gave you a compliment earlier. Do you want to give the compliment to Stink in person that you gave earlier?
Yeah, well, this isn't my strength, I can tell you, this game. It's just not. And I realize that. I'm trying to do better, but you have set the bar very, very high around here, right? And you are,
Thank you.
Like when you play Donkey Kong or whatever, or Mario, you go through these levels, and you have to beat a guy at the end, right? And I'm like the second or third level guy. But you, Mark Schlereth, you're the final boss. You are the final boss. The big overweight person sitting on the stool that you have to, take out. That's you. So you're the king.
Yep, the big fat overweight guy. I like how you come in with Donkey Kong or one of those. Mike and I would be more like, when you were playing Pong or
there was no final boss in Pong, though.
no.
I played.
I know.
So that's a compliment. You're the final boss.
Yeah, I played
man.
Pong on Atari.
That's like that. What was the? You're not Glass Joe. You're a couple steps above Glass Joe. I don't know who the other boxers were in that Mike Tyson boxing.
Yes, exactly.
I love that thing. That was great. Yeah.
So,
all right.
final
Soda
boss.
Popinski.
Final boss answer for you, because you get to break the tie. We argued about this earlier, the idea of Tyreek Hill. Philip Lindsay came on yesterday on the drive and said, hey, this is at the end of the day a talent league. And if you have a chance to bring in somebody like a Tyreek Hill who is just 1 year removed from a season in which he had 118 catches for 1,800 yards and 13 touchdowns, Phil said, hey, absolutely, explore it. Stoke is dead set against it.
Mike has flip-flopped on this
Not
back and
flip-flop.
forth, Mark.
No.
In one segment, he went from yes to no to yes to no to yes.
Here's what I said. He would have to rework his contract, okay? He wouldn't be the first guy to take a pay cut, rework his contract. But if he was willing to do that, I am absolutely interested in the idea of pursuing a Tyreek Hill, because throughout his career, I don't think he's ever been labeled a pure malcontent. Yeah, things got a little greasy here at the end in Miami, but come on, this is Miami. This is one of the most underachieving teams in the NFL. This is Coach Capri Pants and the culture he's created, where they go into Kansas City and the temperature's a little bit cold and they completely quit. That's the culture that has been created in Miami. So it's a different culture here. If the price is right, I would absolutely be open to bringing in Tyreek Hill. So I'm in favor of it. Stokes not. What say you?
Yeah, I'm with Stoke. Not in
Geez.
favor of it. I'm not in favor of it. I just think that you have to look at what you're building, the culture that you're building, the young quarterback that you have, and you don't want to have a guy that's got to get X number of targets, otherwise he's going to be pissed off. You want Cortland Sutton's on this team that gets no targets and has no issue with it. And so, I mean, is he dynamic? Yes. Does he have, incredible speed? Yes. But that's not the culture you've built, and that's not what you've preached this whole time. And so I think it would be a mistake to bring that in.
Well, let us bring in a quarterback's perspective who would, in theory,
he hates wide receivers.
Maybe I know, but might
he hates them.
Yeah,
he hates them.
But might he like the idea of being able to throw to Tyreek Hill? We bring in our pal Joel Clatt, who is presented by Dave & Buster's in Denver. And let me mention to you that this Sunday at Dave & Buster's, starting at 10:30, I'm going to be there hosting a Denver Buffalo watch party. So come down to Dave & Buster's and join me. This is I-25 and Colorado. And come and join me, and we'll be hanging out. Joel, good morning. What say you? Would you like to see Bo Nix having a chance to throw to Tyreek Hill?
No.
Oh,
why would I want Tyreek Hill? Wide receivers are just not that important. They're icing on the cake. They are the last thing that you put into a house. Like this team's got to get better on the offensive line. Bo's under far too much pressure. Consistently. They don't run the football like a team that can go and win the Super Bowl. I mean, you look at the teams that are up there, outside of Kansas City, the teams that have a real threat either have a veteran elite Hall of Fame caliber quarterback like, let's say, Kansas City, obviously. Even the Rams would be in that mold that they don't run the ball that well. And then all the other teams that are really good in this league and have a chance to win this thing, they can run the football. Buffalo runs it better than Denver. Baltimore obviously runs it better than Denver. Philly, Detroit, Green Bay, like all these teams. Heck, I think one of the reasons why Daniels has had such a good year with Washington is because they can run the football so effectively. It's the best thing that you can do for a quarterback. The worst thing that you can do for a quarterback is give the young developing quarterback some sort of diva, in wide receiver that needs targets, that's going to create all sorts of issues on the sidelines. I don't want that at all. Wide receivers, give me a break. Name the team. I say this every time. Name the team that won a Super Bowl because their best offensive player was a wide receiver. Never happened. Not one
Well,
time.
you have to go back to the Rams. I mean, the Rams are a most recent example, but a rare one. But the Rams with Cooper Kupp.
I mean, Cooper Kupp was basically like an afterthought who becomes great because he's an inside route runner that's playing with a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Okay.
Mike, do you understand the difference between Cooper Kupp emerged, they spent zero resources on him, and he becomes a prolific producer, versus let's go get a guy who probably is a problem, and we think that he's going to produce? Like what?
Okay, I think the one thing that was really resonated with me, and I want to go back to the game or go to the game in Buffalo, Joel, you mentioned the run game. You mentioned what you have to have for a quarterback. Obviously, the Broncos don't have that. They have not run the ball at all this year. It has been abysmal at best. So, with a young quarterback on the road in Buffalo without the security blanket of a run game, what do the Broncos have to do to be successful on offense with that as the backdrop?
Pray.
That's it? Just pray?
I just don't see Denver winning this game. Like this has been a great year to get to this point. I think that they're going to be totally overmatched at the line of scrimmage. There's not a unit on this team that I would like vastly favor over Buffalo. Allen seems like he's primed for kind of that tipping point playoff run where he gets over the hump and that they potentially, beat Lamar, beat Mahomes, these guys. I just, I know that that's totally avoiding your question, but I see Denver's only chance as a classic David Goliath upset. I don't think that you can plan for, okay, we got to control this and control that. They've got to get a turnover early. They've got to steal a score, maybe steal a possession on special teams, maybe get a special teams score where you look up and it's like they're probably going to be dominated in total yardage by 100 or 150 yards in this game. And then maybe, do you steal a possession? Do you steal a score? Some sort of classic upset where Buffalo feels the pressure late in the game. Outside of that, I don't think Denver has much of a chance.
Now, Joel, you just mentioned the pressure at the end of the game, and Bills have had a bunch of tough losses in the playoffs, some failures in the playoffs. They haven't been able to take that next step. Bills fans are scarred. Do you think that could come into play if the Broncos could keep it close there in the second half?
Yes. That's 100% right. Is this idea of an overwhelming sense of panic and anxiety that resonates throughout the stadium if Denver has some sort of a lead late. And it's like, whoa, this is not supposed to happen. We're not supposed to struggle with Denver, who barely got into the playoffs. This is supposed to be a Super Bowl run. And then I think that you get a more panicked version of Buffalo. But if Buffalo is able to just play with a lead, if they're able to play without that anxiety, I don't see a way that this Bronco team beats this version of Buffalo. Now, maybe I'm being totally dismissive of what Denver can do, but I would just make an argument that if you look towards the end of the regular season, this defense wasn't anywhere close to what they needed to be. And for lack of a better term, when you look at, the way they got in, guys, I mean, if Kansas City plays their starters, do we trust that they were going to get in? I mean, we gave up 32 against Cleveland. We gave up, 34 against the Chargers, another 30 to the Bengals. Then the Chiefs didn't play their starters. So this team has not beaten anybody in the upper echelon. We talked about this last week. Anybody that is a playoff caliber team outside of, let's say, Tampa way early in the year, Denver hasn't played very well against. I know this is doom and gloom. Everyone in Denver is like, geez, Joel, how was the play, Mrs. Lincoln? But do you tell me the game that they played great against a really, really quality opponent?
Do you feel like this is a playoff team then that you're watching?
Well, they're in the playoffs.
Yeah, but
there's 14 teams that go to the playoffs.
But do you feel like this is a playoff team?
They won 10 football games. And listen, let's take the small victories. If they lose, this is still a wildly successful year.
Right. Okay.
Even if they lose, a wildly successful year where they totally overachieved with a rookie quarterback, and that rookie quarterback has shown that he can overcome holes on this team that are clearly there that have to be addressed, so that if they're addressed, he has shown the ability that at times, even as a rookie, he can elevate the team past what its actual potential is. That is the silver lining, the main point of this season, is that we found a guy that can take the team above where the team should be. And those are the type of guys that pass the confetti test. And so that's the exciting part. I'm thrilled with this year for Denver, and I'm thrilled for Bo Nix and Sean Payton and all these guys. Now, do I think they're going to beat Buffalo? No. And that's not a Bo Nix issue, and it's not a rookie quarterback issue. It's a general manager issue in terms of like, hey, man, go fix the line of scrimmage. Your defense can't be giving up this amount of points throughout the back half of the year. The offensive line has got to protect better. They've got to establish the run better if you want to go and win a Super Bowl.
Joel, just on the flip side of that, you've got an MVP caliber quarterback playing on the other side, and Josh Allen probably will win the award. For this defense, what do they have to do to slow him down and give themselves a chance to win this football game?
I would blitz with reckless abandon. I don't think you have much to lose, and so like, would you rather die a quick death that has potential, or a slow death that doesn't? And so to me, I would play uber aggressive defensively in this game. And I would just throw the entire kitchen sink at him. Maybe you get a sack. Maybe you get a strip sack. Maybe you get him to panic and give you a freebie on the outside because he makes a bad decision. But what you don't want to do is sit there and be like, okay, we're going to limit explosives and we're going to do all these things. And it's like, well, then he's just going to kill you, eventually. So that's the way I would play it. I would be uber aggressive, in particular on first down. I would try to get them out of the ability to have what I would call a two-way offense. I would try to get them in passing obvious situations and then send a lot of people at him and pray that he panics. And listen, you're probably going to give up a big player too, but if you can steal a possession, if you can get him rattled a little bit, maybe you've got a chance.
Joel, we see a lot of openings now, head coaching openings in the NFL. Where are you at with Deion and him staying at Colorado? The Raiders job just came open yesterday. Where are you at with Deion and staying at Colorado?
Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously hopeful that he stays at Colorado. I think that, he has a very, very, very good offer in front of him from Colorado, and I don't know why it hasn't been signed, but I will tell you that I don't think he works in the NFL. As good as he has been at Colorado, it's a really perfect marriage there where they have given him the keys fully. He can be completely himself. You cannot do that in the NFL. You cannot do that. I continue to say this. It's like they don't even let Kyle Shanahan wear his flat-billed hats. It's like, what do you think is going to – you can't be prime as head coach in the NFL. Now, if he wants to go there and challenge himself, then that's where he'll end up. I hope that he doesn't, because I think that there's actually some sustainability to the excellence that Colorado showed this year, in particular with the way that they recruited, the quarterbacks that they have, some of the things that they've got going on from a transfer portal perspective. And I do think that this format in college football is in a really interesting place where the format of college football is changing. Two major things, guys, that I'll touch on. One is the revenue share due to the Alston case that's going to come through, and it's like the House case. And once we get the revenue share, Colorado is committing to going full boat on the rev share. So they're going to be closer to the top end of college football in terms of the revenue that they're sharing with their players. That's number one. Okay. Number two is the structure of the playoff will change fairly soon here. By 26, we're going to go from 12 to 14, and I think there's going to be automatic berths given to conferences, 4 in the SEC and the Big Ten, and then 2 each in the ACC and the Big 12. And once there's that automatic, defined path for how you qualify for the playoff, then it's like Denver this year, the Broncos. It's like they knew what they needed to do to get into the playoffs, and they got there. And I think that Colorado, with what Deion is doing and what they're going to do in the rev share, to think that they could be, I would say, consistently a top 3-4 team in the Big 12 is absolutely accurate. And at that point, they're competing to go to the playoff every single year. So the future, to me, is much brighter if he stays at Colorado versus getting on that quick carousel of the NFL.
Very quickly, college football semifinals, Texas, Ohio State, Penn State, Notre Dame. Who you got?
I like Ohio State. They're like a supernova right now. They beat Texas. And then I've got Notre Dame. There's something about the way that Marcus Freeman is coaching with a lot of freedom and just what he did against Georgia and the way that they played at the line of scrimmage. I like Notre Dame in a tight one on Thursday night.
Sounds good. And no negativity from you. We know you're a Bronco fan, but I think you summed up perfectly that we all kind of look at this as what do you got to lose if you're the Broncos, but you just articulated, I think, very fairly what losing might look like, okay? They have nothing to lose, but if they do lose, this is what it may look like and why. I think you summed it up very, very nicely. Thank you, Joel.
Appreciate you guys. Have a good one.
You too. Joel Clatt, presented by Dave & Buster's in Denver, your ultimate destination for football all season long. And did Joel just give us a little bit of breaking news?
Did you hear that?
I did hear that. You heard that too?
Yeah.
Mark heard that?
Mark probably didn't.
Oh, jeez.
Whoa.
I don't think Mark did. I'm just saying. I'm just calling it like that.
I got him on Zoom right now. His
but
eyes lit up.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
You think I'm making that up?
I do.
I am making that up. That's coming up next.
Yeah, I wasn't listening to Stoke.